Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? This is Stone Thug, artist, singer, rapper, and I want to start off by singing a little song. Great, oh great, God is great. He's greater than the mountains, ooh, greater than the sea. He's great, he's great, he's great. Oh, God is great. Than the mountains, God is greater than the sea. He's great to me and you. He's great. He's seen us through. He's great. He's great. God is great. Ba ba boo boo. Shala. Hey, how you doing today? Like I said, this is Stone Thug, singer, artist, rapper, poet, green home developer, and prison reform advocate. I've never been to prison, but I think that they can do a much better job with our taxpaying dollars than the warehouse men and women. So that's what I mean by prison reform advocate. I believe that they should change things there. But I'm not making this video about that today. This video is to say God is great. And more than great, He's greater than man. God is great, and mankind is not. So some of you may have issues with that because you think mankind is great. And I think that just because of the things that I mentioned that I'm involved with as an individual, I must think that I'm great because I'm doing some pretty awesome things. And I do think that at times I have great moments. But mankind as a whole, I don't believe is great. Not in the same comparison as we say that God is great. See, mankind has had a chance to show his greatness, to prove his greatness. Mankind has had over 10,000 years of recorded history of the different forms of man's writing, even elementary, as painting horses and cows and men running on rocks and caves. But man has never proven with the time he's had that he was great. Mankind as a whole has proven to be a lot of things other than great. With every opportunity man has had to lead over other men, they have done nothing short of dominate them and cost pain. Sure, some kingdoms for certain times and some rulers have been good to their citizens, as there is now. There are a lot of good bosses out there, but then there's a lot of terrible bosses, a lot of terrible employers who don't treat their workers right. A lot of governments are good, but at times, certain politicians are elected and they don't treat their citizens well. There are lots and lots of examples of man falling short of their greatness. And man is so ungreat that even when it comes to the breakdown of man, it's still pretty pathetic. As you know, man is broken up into different races, colors, and even those groups are not great. Sure, certain advantages fall upon others. Certain people, well, mankind as a whole has always had a penis measuring contest with each other. Races, that is. And I have to say, as a young American black male, I'm so happy that that debate is all been settled. But with that said, mankind is not great. Yes, the black race has its advantages. We are very creative, strong, bred to last. If the black man was a watch, he'd be a Timex, because they take a licking and keep on ticking. If the black man was an insect, he'd be the indestructible roach that could survive an atomic blast. Am I calling black men roaches? No, we wouldn't be roaches. We'd be cockroaches. The biggest, the best of roaches. If we were insects, we'd be the big ones. If we were dinosaurs, we'd be pterodactyls. The ones that hover, fly, soar over the others. If black man was a mountain, they'd be Mount Everest. If black men were a bill, they'd be $1,000 bill, $1 million bill. If the black man was water, he'd be cold water on a hot day. Or hot water when you need to make tea. But with all of that, the black man is not the greatest. The Asian man, brilliant, calculating. They're not the greatest. The white man, strategic, long-term thinking, strong, warmongering. Not the greatest. The Latino, the Latin man, hard-working, long-sweating. Not the greatest. And all the others in between. Not the greatest. The red man, skillful, here first. Not the greatest. So maybe if it's not men, let's look at women. Maybe surely there's something great with them. No. You have some great women. Fantastic mothers. Wonderful females. Beautiful. Soft, luscious, shapely. But they fight among each other. They're not happy all the time. Some of them just outright gave up on men. Not the greatest. So whom is the greatest of mankind? There's no greatest. They're just a bunch of people trying to make it day to day. Oh, some talk pretty big. Some have big ideas. Others feel that they should be top dog. But no. God, He alone, is the greatest. God is great. Look what He's done. But you say, we have war and famine. How could God be great? Yeah. Wars and famine. Yeah, God, He's the head of those things. Because man don't share with one another. Because some have so much and can't extend a hand to their brother. Because some can't get along with others and fight to the death. That's God's fault. You want to blame God for war and famine? How can you even get that out your mouth with a straight face? Well, we have earthquakes, tornadoes, tsunamis. That's true. We've had them. We've always had them. And we always will. Now, with that knowledge, since men have superior brains to the common animals, shouldn't we know by now how to build houses? What areas to avoid? How far we should do this and what kind of stuff we need to do that, I think man, especially if he was even close to great, would have the common sense to know, okay, we don't build in this area, or we build these kind of homes, or we use this kind of construction, or we do this, or we do that. We can do that. You know, we have much more land than you realize. But the population explosion! There's too many people on this earth. So why are you complaining about famine and earthquakes and all that deal? If you're so concerned about the population explosion, it seems like that would be taken care of. So you can't really be so concerned about that, can you? But have you ever taken a train ride anywhere? I can mention planes very easily. But just a train ride. You see how much land there is? Or flown anywhere? You see how much land that's out there? Yeah, but they can't sustain food. There's not enough water. Interesting. Have you ever gone to Hawaii? Flew to Europe? Flew to America? There's a nice bit of water out there. Yeah, but it's not drinkable. That's true. It has to be filtered. Like dirty water has to be filtered. Like diseased water has to be filtered. But we have it. Mankind has the means to purify seawater. And they do it on small scales. You think it's because of money that they don't do it on larger scales? Or is it because they maybe want to control where people live and how people live and where people live? Well, what about food? Well, we got a lot of these GMO foods now. Can't they grow food out of a rock if they wanted to? Can't they grow food in caves if they wanted to? Not that I'm for those types of foods, mind you. But there are certain areas in the world where they're not trying to take over the crops, good crops that God made, where they can, if they wasn't chasing that dollar so hard and so strong and trying to control the markets year after year after year by manipulating food as a stock market, they could grow food much more rapidly and in many more areas where they could, where people live. But do they? Do they even want to? Corporations, they're not great. In some places of the world, corporations have even tried to make $1 off of rainwater. Man, it's a lot of things. But great? Man, it's not. But God is truly great. And I don't want this video to be too long. So I'll just basically end with this. Proof positive that God is great is the mere fact that God hasn't destroyed mankind altogether just yet. That he hasn't dashed man like you would a bug on a rug. That he hasn't lowered the boom on mankind for the evilness that man has done to each other, to womankind, to the environment, to their own children, to their neighbors, to the water, to the air, to the mountains, to the seas, to the animals, to each other. The mere fact that God hasn't utterly destroyed the human race and annihilated it already is a testament of the greatness of God. Who could be so great? What parent would have a child that would come into his house and set it on fire daily? Wouldn't toss his own child out the door? But mankind, pitiful as he is, proclaims his greatness with every other breath he takes. Even individual races try to pretend that they're greater than others. Pathetic little people. You're so great. You're nothing. You're nobody. Unless you're helping somebody. But you are somebody. You're nobody till somebody needs you. You're nobody till you start to share. You may be king, you may possess the world and its gold, but gold won't bring you happiness when you're growing old. The world may say you're the top of the heap, but to God, you're just a little old woolly sheep. You know, nobody till somebody helps somebody. So God is great, and man needs to become great, and fast. Thank you for listening. Peace. It's your boy Stone Thug. Have a great day. And if you like a copy of one of my CDs, the information is down below. Thanks.